Welcome to video 2 in the Aircrete series. In this video I'm going to be showing you how you can make your own Aircrete, the foamed, lightweight, highly insulated concrete that enables you to build pizza ovens, flatbed rocket stoves, or any kind of device that needs to be insulated with a lightweight, low-cost structure. Anyway, enough of the teaser. In the last video, you remember I was making as much foam as I could, just to see how much foam I could make. In this video, I'm going to be concentrating on the quality of foam. I'll be playing with various types of foam created by 3 or 4 different types of shampoo, detergent, and hand cleaner that I've picked up. And I'm going to be looking for a foam that has the consistency of shaving foam, something that will literally last for hours, so it will support the concrete during its drying period. Once I've done that, I'm going to be pouring a mold. Once I've done that, I'm going to be making a mold, pouring the foam into that mold, and that will be about the last I can do until it has cured, which could be up to 2 weeks before I can take it out of the mold. In the meantime, I want you to have a look at how I strip a stove, because inside an old stove I'm going to pull the oven out. That oven is going to become the oven of my flatbed rocket stove. And there are several other parts of a electric stove that are also useful. I keep the wiring and the terminal blocks, the fuses. I have been known to use the timer in projects, and also the variable resistors that control the elements make great speed controllers for AC motors. Now, I hope you do realize by now, from looking around my yard and seeing all these interesting things, that I don't most of the things that I use in my projects I get for nothing. The stove, for example, it was going to the landfill and would have been the resources in it would have been the resources in the stove would have been absolutely wasted. So I figure that I'm doing the environment a huge favour by reusing the usable parts that was inside this. And the same goes with many other of the projects that I involve myself in. I always look to find ways where I can rebuild, repurpose, repair, recycle before I purchase. Okay, here's that mold I told you about. Just a simple timber construction. It's a custom shape, so I've measured and put the diagonals across to keep everything square. Now I'm putting some mesh in the bottom to provide a little bit of reinforcement for this thing, and we'll go and mix some foam to put into the concrete slurry to make the Aircrete. Here we go. Mixing up a concrete slurry. Should call it concrete actually, because it's got no aggregate in it. This is just a straight cement slurry. Very thick, very concentrated, and only about half a gallon, 2 litres in the bottom. It's a thick paste, that I'm mixing up with the power mixer here, and then we'll get this very rudimentary foaming gun that I've made, literally out of pieces that I had lying around. You'll get such a laugh when you see it. It's actually the S-bend from underneath an old sink that I had behind the shed. It's the only piece of pipe I had that was the right diameter. The fact that it's an S shape really doesn't mean anything. But you'll see that what I've done is jammed some Scotch-Brite scouring pad up in there, and we're pushing the mixture through that with compressed air, and that produces a lovely thick shaving foam consistency that should last at least until the concrete has set. But this is experiment one. We don't know. Don't know what's going to happen. Now you can see just here that it's actually a bit thin, and I'm going to have to add some more cement to the mix, which is another case of me getting ahead of myself and not following the recipe. This is too watery, but I've still got the chance to get some more in. I've been counting how many scoops I've been putting in, so I'm going to add another scoop, give it some more foam, and I'm going to be just checking the texture, seeing what I end up with, and before I pour it into the mould I want to be confident that it looks the same as everybody else is making. did actually do some sums, and I figured out that it's going to take 3 of these buckets, 15 gallons to fill this mould. I was quite surprised at how much it was going to take. So I'm working hard to try and get 3 mixers back to back as quickly as possible, so that I get the same kind of curing effect all the way through. All I'm doing here is banging the edges of the mould to knock out any air bubbles around the edge, so that I just get a nice clean edge and it sinks right into the corners. Being such a wet mixture, it's fairly self-leveling, of course. All I have to do is just top it up and hope that the aeration lasts for the duration of the cure. Otherwise it's going to sink back and I'll have to put another layer on top. Cement's cheap. I don't mind playing with it, and if it doesn't work, I'll just bury this one in the garden and make another one. In fact, you know what? I'm sitting here editing this video right now and I'm looking at how thin that mixture is, and I'm not happy with it at all. It's going to take a long time to harden. I really do think that I'll lose a lot of the bubbles and I'm going to end up with a heavy slab. Well, it's almost the end of the day. There's not much light left. Typical of me, when I pour concrete, I like to stay up all night and just watch it dry. I've floated it off as best I can. It keeps rising. The bubbles keep coming to the surface. I don't know whether it's been a good thing or a bad thing, but
It's only 20 bucks worth of materials, so if this doesn't work out, I'll make another one.
Now I'm going to have to keep my pudgy little fingers out of this for a few hours until it dries off. I'll come back in the morning and have another look. But if this has been any use to you, please hit the like button, and I will continue this video in about 2 weeks when it's cured and I can start building the oven on top of it. In the meantime, thank you for watching Tiny House and Off-Grid Resources. Resources.